Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, a weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively work against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. And with that, let's begin. This is take 3 on varied terrains. Hopefully I get it this time, but I mean, this is what RNG gave me, and... okay. So what is varied terrains? Well, let's read this card yet again. The island's terrains are diverse. The mists and streams of high mountains, the arid scrub of hot sands, river valleys and swamps, jungle trees towering high. The invaders have reason to seek all these places out, but each has its own character. The scenario is notably easier for spirits with very good build prevention in jungles and wetlands, e.g. a spread of rampant green. This scenario is notably harder with adversaries that cause many builds, e.g. the Kingdom of England. Difficulty 2. Rules changes. Each terrain has a unique effect associated with it. Mountains may hide gold. Add +1 explore when exploring mountains, including during setup if appropriate. Jungles clear cut for land. After invaders build one or more city in a jungle, add a blight there. Fragile sands. After setup, blight added to sands cascades as if blight were already present even when it is not. And fertile wetlands. After invaders successfully build in a wetland, they build there a second time. Let's remember that, in case we accidentally make London in a wetland. But yeah, the Kingdom of England, additional loss condition, proud and mighty capital. If 7 or more buildings are ever in a single land, the invaders win. Escalation, building boom, on each board with buildings, build in a land with the most buildings. Indentured servants earn land. Invader build actions affect lands without invaders if they're adjacent to at least 2 buildings before the build action. Criminals and malcontents. During setup on each board, add a city to land number 1 and a town to land number 2. And high immigration 1. Put the high immigration tile on the invader board to the left of Ravage. The invaders take this build action each invader phase before ravaging. Cards slide left from Ravage to it and from it to the discard pile. Remove the tile when a stage 2 card slides onto it, putting that card in the discard. That's what we have to deal with. But we are aided by these 2 spirits. Shadows flicker like flame, Darkfire. Setup. Put 3 presents on your starting board, 2 in the highest number jungle and 1 in land number 5. Gain Unquenchable Flames, minor power. This is Unquenchable Flames. Special rules. Darken fire as 1. You may treat each moon available to you as being fire or vice versa. Choose during each action for each moon or fire you have. You may discard or forget powers that grant moon to pay for fire choice events and vice versa. I believe that's supposed to be referred to as Darkfire. I was calling it Moonfire the last time I played it, but I guess Darkfire makes sense since it's the name of the aspect. Frightful shadows elude destruction. The first time each action would destroy your presence, you may push one of those presents instead of destroying it. Alright, so growth options, pick 1. Number 1, reclaim cards, gain power card. Number 2, gain power card, add a presence at range 1. Number 3, add a presence at range 3 and gain 3 energy. We start at 0 energy per turn and 1 card play per turn, going up to 6 and 5 respectively. We also have an innate dark fire available to us, and our innate power, darkness swallows the unwary. At 3 dark fires, gather and explore. At 5 dark fires, destroy up to 2 explorers, 1 fear per explorer destroyed. And at 7 dark fires, 2 air, 3 damage, 1 fear per invader destroyed by the damage. Now, of course, on the physical card, these are moon and fire respectively, but the digital game gives us the ability to treat this as a separate element, so it's actually dark fire. Moon counts for it, fire counts for it, and in addition, any other major power we gain that looks at moon or fire counts as dark fire. And for choice events, as mentioned here, we can discard moons to pay for fire, fire to pay for moons. Moons count towards fire, fire counts towards moon, etc. It does say may, so you can choose during each action for whatever we want, but, you know, come what may. We start with the minor power Unquenchable Flames, which is funny because it has a threshold. If you have 2 dark fires, add a Badlands, but it comes with a moon and a fire on it, so we already have 2 dark fires innate to this card. We could choose not to add the Badlands if we choose not to, but why would you not want to? Maybe you don't want to kill the Hun. We're also playing with Wandering Voice Keen's Delirium. Setup, put 2 presents on your starting board, 1 in land number 6 and 1 in land number 7. Put the Incarna on your starting board in land number 6. Special rules, a clarion voice given form. You have an Incarna. It may count as sacred site. If empowered, it isolates its land. Spreads tumult and delusion. When your actions add or move Incarna to a land with invaders, add a strife in the destination land, and lands with or adjacent to Incarna. If strife is present, Dahan do not participate in Ravage. And senseless roaming. When your actions add strife to an explorer town, you may push it. So we kind of like to move our Incarna around to add strife, as well as pushing pieces, but lands that are in or adjacent to the Incarna have Dahan not participating in Ravage if strife is present. So it's a bit weird, as we would like to put strife down, but we also want Dahan to maybe take part in Ravages, so we have to be very careful where our Incarna ends up being. Growth options, pick 1. Number 1, reclaim cards. Add or move Incarna to land with your presence. Gain 1 energy. Growth option 2, add presence at range 3. Add a presence at range 1. Number 3, gain a power card. Add a presence at range 2. Gain an energy. Gain an air. Starts at 0 energy and 1 card play per turn. Going up to 4 and 4. We get a sun or a moon, an air, a reclaim 1, and a push your Incarna. And our innate powers, inscrutable journeying. Each time you move Incarna to a land with invaders, spread tumult and delusions, add strife. At 1 air, you may push Incarna. At 3 air, you may push Incarna. At 5 air, you may push Incarna. And at 2 moon, 1 fire, 4 air, 1 plant, empower Incarna. So this happens only once per game, but it empowers our Incarna. And also Mind Shattering Song. At 1 moon, 2 air, 1 fear per moon you have. At 1 sun, 2 air, 1 damage per sun you have to invaders with strife only. And at 1 moon, 1 sun, and 4 air, for each sun-moon pair you have, destroy 1 invader with strife. So obviously we care a lot about air. Moon and sun cares about the right innate for whether we want fear or damage. And very slightly we care about fire and plant in order to empower the Incarna, but only once in a game. And the unique powers are here. Okay. Are we ready? Difficulty 8. What could possibly go wrong? Narrator. Everything could go wrong. Okay. Exploring jungles. Special rule for jungles is that if they build a city, then they blight. Which means that this is currently a blight. And that's it. This is build, this is build, this is build. Okay, let's see. The only fast power that Shadows has is Concealing Shadows, which is not going to stop a build. We are benefited by our special rule, Frightful Shadows Elude Destruction, which says that if an action destroys a presence, we can push the presence instead of destroying it, but only the first time. So putting a blight down in E7 won't actually stop, or won't actually destroy a presence, we'll just push the presence, but we kind of like to not have a blight there for the Ravage next turn anyway. Otherwise, we have E3, H5, and H1. But, Kind of nice that Darkness Swallows the Unwary is a bit easier to hit at tier 2. We could even do it on turn 1 if we so want, playing all of our Moon Fire cards, but I mean, assuming that we take plus card play, which I tend to do on turn 1. But I don't know. Let's take a look at board H for a sec here. So obviously pushing our Incarna adds strife, and it could be viable to strife the city at H1, for instance, and try to get Dahan in there to counterattack next turn. They're not building a city there, but in any case, dealing with the city that's there would be good. You have means of pushing Dahan, though. Not innately. So there's only 1 Dahan in there right now. Would kind of be nice to get more. Shadows does have the favors called due, but that's range 1 from the presence. could grow into H2 in order to hit H1, for instance, but very inclined to just click growth option 3 because that's the only way that the spirit has to gain power cards outside of Turmoil's Touch, I guess. Also gains energy. So let's click that and see what power card we get. Looking for air almost primarily, but also moon and sun. Sunset's Fire does give us a moon and a sun, but not an air. Land of Haunts and Embers would kind of be nice on Shadows, but oh well. It does give a moon and an air would of course hit the threshold for fear. But Land of Haunts and Embers isn't that good for this for this adversary. I mean, it's still good, but it's not gonna stop builds as easily as it would otherwise. Our Incarna does count as a sacred site if we want it to, so we do have a sacred site always, as long as the Incarna's on the board. Could we get away with Sunset's Fire? If I play 2 cards, and one of them is Sunset's Fire, then obviously I'm not getting 2 more air, so I'm not pushing the Incarna an additional time, but this does damage to invaders with Strife only. Twist Perceptions could Strife a city and push that invader. Push the invader is a very strong phrase, considering there aren't very many ways to push cities, but bearing in mind that our movement is fast for the Incarna movement. We also don't really have damage outside of this, right? Could try to combo it with Shadows, I guess. Although it's a bit tricky, as the Shadows power Unquenchable Flames range 2 from a Sacred Site, which is currently at E7 unless it moves to like E5. But the Sacred Site requirement on Voice is a bit weird. Also, all of these are pretty much Sacred Site powers. We're looking for Empowering the Incarna. Rouse the Trees gives us the fire and the plant. Although we already have a fire and a plant among our power cards anyway. So maybe it's not as important. I don't know. Thinking about Haunts and Embers, hitting H7, pushing the town into H6, I guess, just so that it's not as inland. The other thing to bear in mind is that if I decide to use this on a Sands, for instance, the rule for Sands is that it cascades all as if it already had a Blight, so I can't use this in as many lands as I would. But it is free. I guess another thing to consider is I could use Turmoil's Touch to just discard this power. Considering that these aren't super exciting. I think I'm going to click Rouse the Trees just because it's, I don't know, damage. 2 damage is decent. Don't think I'm gonna use it though. This is range 1, range 2, range 2. So let's grow as far away as we can just to increase our visibility of as many lands as we can. And then I guess let's do Turmoil's Touch to discard the power we just clicked on, I guess. Different things we could do. Playing a sun allows me to kill a strife town, I guess. So let's do Frightful Keening just so we can get as many strife down as possible, I guess. I guess Twist Perceptions are also out of strife, but... Hello, Tiernus. Hoping for no wetlands back-to-back builds. Yes, I'm... The RNG gave me England, and yeah, I'm not entirely pleased with that, but we have to play with what the hand that we're dealt. I mean, I don't have to, but I'd like to. Okay. We have not really thought about anything for the past 10 minutes other than what power card to click for voice, and I ended up not playing that, so that's great. What are my plans for any of these builds? I don't know. I feel like H1 is the most easily solved. I feel like that's where I'm focusing all my efforts on currently, but we do have to think about H5 and E3 and E7. I assume that H5 is just going to be solved with Incarna movement. What about these other ones? I suppose we could use Concealing Shadows in E3 next turn. Yeah, we still don't have a solution for the E7 Blight issue. There's not really a place where there's 2 explorers we can gather right now, so it's not focused on hitting this upper threshold, but I'm thinking Crops Wither to replace the city with a town, Mantle of Dread to push an explorer in town, and then I don't know what at that point, because that's still not going to solve that land. I suppose there could be a cool trick where I damage the town, convert it to an explorer, and it immediately dies. But it's still not going to solve the issue of the E7 Ravage. Maybe it's power card Trustfall or something. Fear card Trustfall. This is range 1 presence. Go into E3 and prep for next turn. And do like, oops, this. So we still kill explorers. There's not a singular place where that helps. Could be nice if it would stop a build, but it's not going to stop any of these builds. Let's see. Let's just kill this guy. We do get 2 pushes here. Move you here. Strife that. Move you here. Just strife cities. I don't know. Oh no. Alright, now it's mountains. The rule for mountains is that they add extra explorers, sort of like France. This is the least impactful for an England game, as it's not really going to stop, or it's not going to make builds harder to stop because it's England. They do that already. Alright, so damage this town, convert it to an explorer. Who dies? There certainly could be a thing about converting a city to a town and the town preserves its damage, but we don't have fast damage. So I don't know. I guess this is also a point of no return. Let's go back for a step. For a sec. This has to target you. Taking a minor power means you just take the top card of the minor power deck without a choice, so it's not necessarily good elements, but it's extra cards, which could be good for majors at the cost of an energy. We could probably afford that energy. Most likely I'm going to take off energy track next turn. I could play my hand next turn if I really wanted to, but that's not actually that great, as it's not going to hit the top threshold or the second threshold anyway. So I think we will just do like gain power card, gain energy that way or something like that. So let's discard something that we're not thinking of playing. I feel like, well, Mantle of Dread has 2 Moonfires or Dark Fires. Vapor's Call Due doesn't have any, but it gathers Dahan, which could be helpful. We're playing Concealing Shadows next turn, always, for E3. Both of these generate fear. I guess Mantle of Dread? Let's do Mantle of Dread. Absorb Corruption is the random power I have. And I will discard Rouse the Trees. And Call to Migrate is my random power. Well, isn't that great? Okay. So this only damages invaders with Strife, and it's only 2 damage. So let's move the Incarna here. Strife the town, but we don't need to move it as we're just going to kill it, I guess. And then do the same thing we're doing. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, so this is still bad. This is gonna blight, but that's okay. That is fine, and that's probably fine. Maybe I should have strifed this town. Because well, I guess this Dahan participating is not gonna do much. It's not gonna kill the city. That said, I have to have two Incarna movements for this to actually work. I assume this is fine. If I click worth option 3 again, we definitely have enough air. The Dahan would not participate in Ravage, but I guess that's okay. Mountains build. Obviously, a lot of explorers, but those lands are pretty much building anyway. Power card on Bringer? Or Shadows? Shadows of the Burning Forest? It's definitely from the power deck, or power progression deck. None of these help with E7. Let's click this. None of these help with E7. Range 1 Sacred Site for defend 6. Could defend 6 and H1 if so desired, I guess. Pushing per Dahan. It's free and it grants a Sun Heir. Territorial Strife adds a Strife. Hence the name, Strife. Shadows would solve E5 or H3 or H4. Enticing Splendor is not going to do anything, or is it likely to do much other than gather Dahan? Let's click Shadows. Could use Call to Isolation to get more Dahan in H1. The issue though is it's not super helpful to get Dahan in H1 when they don't participate in Ravage. It just says invaders of strife don't participate, which is basically a means of preserving the strife. I'm gonna click this one and you can't stop me. Let's take some energy, I guess. Do I want sacred sites, or am I just going to assume that my Incarna will always count as a sacred site? This is range 2 presence. This presence is gonna get destroyed in a second. So I would say put it in E4 for visibility purposes. I assume I'm just going to push my Incarna into H1. So 2 Sun cards gives me damage to a Strife Town. Although, sure would be nice if I could... If I Strife this town, I could push an H2. It's probably better for that to go to H2 anyway, so I don't really want Exhale Confusion and Delirium to preserve disease per se, or preserve strife. So let's do these two. Adds a strife in the slow phase. And then I could... Oh, I don't have enough damage to kill it, but I could pretend like I will. And I think I want this presence also at E4 for visibility purposes. I could push this destroyed presence. I guess no, this one's also getting destroyed. E7 into E4. Makes that a sacred site, and then this could go into H4, I guess. And we could do Shadows of the Burning Forest there, and then Concealing Shadows in E3. So that was what I was planning. That's what I was planning there. Gather and Explorer is not very helpful. I could kill an Explorer in E3, I guess. Push my Incarna around, strife this town. Don't push it, because it's not going to be helpful for it to push. That can go into H2, though. Because now this Dahan is not participating. So it doesn't matter if I call to isolation it. Does it matter to push a single Dahan? I'm thinking I gather and explore into E2. There's a chance that H4 doesn't build if the event card is helpful. So let's take one of those guys. The event cards could say beasts kill explorers. And there's only one neighboring building after the Ravage, so that build would actually be prevented. It's not helpful when I said I was going to put my presence there for shadows, but I guess I could shadows an E5 instead. This pushes an explorer in a town. So-called isolation is not going to be super helpful there either. Other thing to consider would be to bunch up Dahan to prevent them from getting converted by the singular event that says a single Dahan in or next to a city turns into a town. Of course, the most dangerous one would be H1. So let's just put that in H6, I guess. Alright, heavy farming. During the next normal Ravage, each town does +1 damage. That's not going to do anything. Prey on the wary, each beast destroys explorers. Yes! Add a beast to a board without one. Come of age, on each board, add Dahan to a jungle or wetland with Dahan. Yay, we stopped this build. Add Dahan to a jungle or wetland with Dahan. Let's put it here in case we could push another town into there. We get remove explorer from a coastal land. Not helpful. That guy's already dead. These guys aren't going to stop that build. Of course, these guys aren't going to stop that build, but it might be the most useful to do that, as it just minimizes the pain there. So that's a cascade, but this is what it is. This movement goes there. That presence is destroyed. Then that is fine. That is fine. And then that is a cascade. That doesn't matter. This moves here. Cascade into E8, I guess. It's the worst that can happen. All right, wetlands. Excellent. The double build wetlands. Let's go. So after invaders successfully build in a wetland, they build there a second time. Is that rule? But they didn't build in H4. We could strife the town in H3. We can do it right now, actually. We don't... If we do that, we don't have to push it. But let's be mindful that jungle is building. Which is actually annoying. Like, the E7 build means that E8 is always building. E3's building, but there's no city builds, so we don't need to worry about the jungle blight issue. E2 is just going to be the London on that board. That's probably something to just go with. And then H2 is the London on that board, I guess. Everything's strifed in there. It's okay. Damage to invaders is strife only. So I could strife this town and then destroy it, which is probably helpful. I guess H3 is also an issue, but again, most likely going to just strife it with my Incarna. I can't destroy it. It's only one sun. I mean, still better to generate a fear, I guess. Is there a Badlid somewhere? E7. Unfortunately, that's too far away from the sacred site. I guess we could strife this city and then push it. Like if I put you in E5, there's hope that I could kill that city with the Dahan or something. It still means that E7 builds, but it doesn't mean that E8 builds if I get rid of that explorer. So I kind of like that. I think this is still going to go here. This is click to push for whatever reason. Or maybe I just missed it. So then what? Because we didn't really move H7, so that's... I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But E8 is preventable. Which is nice, because it's blighted. E4 is also blighted. Gain power card here on Shadows. Problem is, we're never gonna hit the threshold for destroying explorers. Be nice if I could do favors called do fast to get the Han in E5. Invaders of Strife don't participate in Ravage is not that helpful. Maybe we preserve the Strife on the city, though. And then, of course, the jungle build, but not really much I can do to stop it anywhere. There's a slight chance if I could just push the city into E1 or E5 that E7 doesn't build. But seems unlikely. We are flipping the Blake card currently. Let's gain power card here. Kind of need an air card. Ooh. Gift of Nature's Connection does mean that Shadows could kill explorers, which is interesting. Gives us the air, also gives 2 Moonfires or Darkfires to Shadows. That's interesting. So I think I do click this then. This also pushes an explorer. Wilds is not super helpful. Isolate target land. That's interesting. But only to sands or wetlands. Isolating E1 means that E7 doesn't build. That's very interesting. I don't suppose there's a world where I isolate H2. If I could somehow get rid of all the explorers here, I guess that would be nice. Although there's still 2 towns for this jungle, so it doesn't actually do that much. Wetlands is going to probably be rough next turn. I say probably, it's absolutely going to be rough next turn. It's probably just always that, because that's really cool. And then it's probably this. If I could click both of these two, that would actually be nice. As I could push the explorer out and then gather explorer, kill 2 explorers, isolate E4, and then E8 is not building either. Then it solves 2 wetlands builds, which is huge. But that's not how this game works. So I don't need visibility to E8 for things to happen. I probably just want to make a sacred site in H4. Let's go for 3 card plays. Let's be greedy. And then this presence. Probably E1. Should I go for sun or moon? Maybe. Not now. Can decide that at any time, but if I do 2 dark fires and 1 air here, you do get the threshold for destroying explorers, which is not that super helpful, but does mean I could just kill this guy. Doesn't matter. Also generates a fear card. Push Incarnate twice. Strafing the town is not gonna kill it, as it will be in the land with Incarna, so the Dahan will not participate. I'm wondering whether it's better for me to just get closer to E4 or to stick in board H. We're blighting the island anyway, so like this blight is not a super big deal, as it's just gonna kill the Dahan. But if I were to like push Incarna H6, H7, I could get the town into like H4, so it keeps its strife, and then they still build city town in both of those lands, but it feels like it won't be as big of an issue. Presumably next turn I just go back and forth between H6 and H7 and strife cities, and then presumably towns I can deal with somehow. I do have this... oh, I don't have the defense 6-1. I do have Call to Isolation. I guess that gets rid of the towns in H6. Put you there, preserve the strife, I guess. And wait on the elements. Okay. Invested aristocracy. Aristocracy. After the Ravage step, on each board, if no blight was added to this board, add a town to the highest numbered land with no invaders. Well, the good news is we're adding blight on both boards. Prey on Heedless. In each land with beasts, 1 damage per beasts. Coming of age on each board, add Dahan to a land with 2 or more Dahan. E8's not doing anything, so it's going to be here, and then Super Dahan Party H6, or do I try to just spread it into H8? Let's spread it just because. Be nice if I could put in H3, but whatever. Retreat. Each player may push up to 2 explorers from an inland land. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't stop the H7 build. Because H5 is building first, and H5 I can't stop. And then E4 is always building. Conceivably, it would not have built if I didn't push the town here and I strifed the town in H3, although, actually, no, that town was always surviving anyway. Well, let's put you at H4. And then let's just put you not in H4. I mean, let's just put you in H3, or E3, I guess. All right, jungle build. They don't build an E7 because of the isolation. And then this is where things happen. Do the ravages that are solved first, I suppose. I suppose there's a chance that the blight card says remove a town, so I guess we do E2 first. Blighted Island. Burn brightest before the end. Immediately, each spirit adds 1 presence to one of their lands or removes a presence from their presence tracks. 2 blight per starting board. So we basically immediately grow, but at the same time, we only have 4 blight left on the card. That's... Is there any reason I would want to just remove the presence from the presence tracks? It'd kind of be nice if I could get to reclaim 1, but yeah. Maybe for someone like Vengeance, or if he had Blazing Renewal. True, yeah, like you want to have destroyed presence sometimes. Or if you're Serpent and you're at the presence cap and you would otherwise not benefit from this growth because you're at presence cap. But yeah, I can see those. Never mind the fact that we're basically losing next turn if we can't solve this Ravage. Currently there's a jungle build, or jungle city in E3 that's being built. Sure, if it's a strong reclaim turn, not even gaining a power card there. Might be a major on Bringer. 5 energy. Definitely have like a power card that we gained that doesn't do much. Invaders are present to hunt, outnumber them, blah blah blah. Like we pretty much have to find defend or blight removal or something. I'm just going to assume that E4 is going to be solved by virtue of defend. Only need 3 to Han. Let's keep 2 in there so it's not converted by an event. And I think we just kill the town in H4. It only needs 1 damage, so let's take a moon so we get more fear. So we are at 1 fear card. Hopefully the fear card says don't build in coastal city or coastal lands or something. Let's take this and gain the major and hope to high roll. Skip all actions and target land. That'd be nice, except I'm not in a sand right now. Huh. That sucks. I mean, it's ignoring the fact that I can't really play it this turn and whatever. I could just play it with favors called Do and 1 other card, and then I would hit the threshold. Question is, are we losing? Let's take this. This does move the Incarna. Well, the problem is we don't have defend for E4 at all. Just click that for a second. Undo it, I guess. As tempting as it is to do something like that, it's probably going to be more meaningful to move the Incarna into E3 and then E4. But it has to go through H4 first. But if I can push that town out, then they don't build a city there. We don't get that cascade. And then strifing the city almost solves E4. The other part would be to move the town with Call to Isolation. Keeps us alive. It does mean these 2 lands are like super screwed. I could survive the fast phase, which I think there is a way to do that. Which of these majors is most beneficial then? Manifest Incarnation would be kind of nice, but I don't have energy for it. Mists of Oblivion is generally a bad card, but at the same time, probably we could play it, but I don't think we actually get to. I don't think we have the right elements for that. Storm Swath. don't have the right elements for that either. We have to play both of our water cards, and the other water card doesn't have air on it. Manifest Incarnation is pretty powerful. I can certainly hit the threshold. Well, I don't actually have enough suns, but I guess I could be aided by Voice. The problem is I can't play it this turn, and next turn happens after the Coastal Ravage, and I still have to solve that problem. So I'm thinking I'm just clicking Sleep and Never Awaken and figuring out something else. Why can I not? Why can I not? Oh, only to land with my presence. Crap. Okay. I can do that. Okay, so that does pose a big problem. I thought I had a solution. I don't actually have a solution. What if... Well, that doesn't work. I don't get another Dark Fire, but I could be aided by Gift of Nature's Connection. I can deal damage with Darkness Swallows. Can use that to stop the city build in E3. And then moving my Incarna back and forth doesn't stop both Ravages, but I would have to click that. Oh, I guess I'm not going to get another push. I'm only getting one push. Oh, that's also bad. Oh, but actually... I do stop one Blight this way. Strife the city, push the town. Yeah. Yup. Alright, Dark Fires. I guess I still click air because it unlocks that. If I make it to the slow phase. Push this town out. Go into there. I'm sure it's not going to be an issue. Surely it's not going to be an issue. And kill things in here. I don't think it really matters what I gather. So that's just screwed. I think I need to be careful about this land. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Escalation is 6. I might need to move it so that I don't lose to something else. It's gonna lose the strife immediately, unfortunately, but eh. Essence disperses. Each spirit chooses independently to forget 1 power card or lose 2 energy to minimum 0 and destroy a presence. In the land where you destroy a presence, return a blight to the box if possible. Okay. That's okay. Explorer's Blunder on each board. Destroy 2 explorers among lands of beasts. Offerings of Story and Season. Each spirit with at least 3 to hunt among all its lands. Gains an energy and may reclaim 1 card. In the land where you destroyed presence, return Blight to the box. I mean, Shadows always destroys a presence, so you're just going to push it anyway. And there's no reason for me to not click E4 here, right? And your energy's fine right now, since we went to +3 energy. So, lose energy. This presence, but you move it. Haha. And we need to be in a sand, so let's just put you at E6. There you go, you're in a sands now. We could destroy the Incarna, but we don't... Well, I guess we still have a Sacred Site. But our only means of getting the Incarna back is with regrowth. Oh, but I didn't actually destroy the presence? Oh, okay. Then I guess... Hold on, do I actually want... Am I in a land where I could destroy or remove a blight another way? No, this is the only land with blight that Shadows is in. I could... Is it you may? You may. Okay, so I could... Okay. But there's not really a point because Voice is not in lands with blight other than E4 anyway. And you're always spending energy. Okay. Did I just not spend energy then? Or no, I didn't forget. Right, no, never mind. Okay, fair enough. I was thinking I didn't forget a power card, but no, I did spend the energy. I'm stupid. Okay. Got the energy back, though. Civil unrest on each board adds strife to an explorer town, or sorry, to a building in a land not matching a ravage card. So not mountains. Or sorry, not wetlands. Duh. And we're not losing, right? 2 blight. We're going down to 1. The event card saved the game. Okay. I think I'm going to assume that I can solve E1 as any Sans Blight is a cascade, and then there, because I don't know. Sure, I'm not losing to E2 having too many buildings. I didn't count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we're fine. Never mind the fact that we have 2 different lands that are at 6 right now. I guess this isn't at 6. Never mind the fact that all the coastal lands are blighting as well. Never mind all of these facts. Never mind. Mantle of Dread E1 is probably the best place. Surely. I don't really foresee why that would be bad. That's a strife that stops that ravage. I don't think there's a place where... I guess we could push out of H2, but yeah. Sun kills a strife town. Or do we have a sacred? We have lots of sacred sites. We kill a strifed city. Unfortunately, damaging strifed pieces is not that helpful to the issue that we have right now, but could. Kills Strife City in E1, so I don't even have to deal with that. Sure, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Well, maybe the fact that I don't have Sacred Site range there. That's what goes wrong. Okay, so then... I can't see what I'm hitting. I somehow damaged the one piece that's not strifed. Wow. That's amazing. Actually, hold on. Gain the moon first. Get the fear. I could gain another major. Gain 2 majors? Nope, not that option, just kidding. It's this one. Ah, cast down. There we go. That solves everything. Transformative sacrifice. You could weave together 2 lands and instantly lose the game to building counts. We could just say, no, I don't lose because of you. You lost because of me. No, that's no, no. I don't lose because of you. I lose because of me. There we go. Is there any world where transformative sacrifice does something? Does playing a million minor powers help us? I would like to say it would, but I also am unsure. We do have the elements for it. Certainly this then empowers my Incarna, but... It's not Weave Together. It's not Vengeance of the Dead. Unrelenting Growth is too slow. What do we have here? I can't afford Talons of Lightning. Any benefit to... Or can I ever hit that? No, I don't have Suns. Vigor is the best bet here. Unfortunately, can't move to Han fast. Wait, do I have energy? I could go off energy track into 4 Talons of Lightning. Does that help? Mountains, wetlands. I'd be playing these 2 cards alongside it. I will not have enough heirs. Moonfires is not an issue. But if I am hit by Transform to Sacrifice, most likely I get 2 more heirs, right? Most likely being in air quotes because I don't know. It would kind of be nice if I could look and see the distribution of air cards in this deck. I can eyeball it, but it's not telling me how many cards have air on them, which is the question I actually have. But seems like 2 and 5 cards have air on them ish. So if 40% chance across 3 draws, what is the probability that at least 2 of those draws has air? It's at least 4%. It's a positive number, I can tell you that much. Destroy a town in each adjacent land. Is that even helpful? I mean, I guess if it hits E2, which is the land where I'm currently losing the game to England anyway, then it's okay, as I kill the town at E3, that stops that blight, and then regenerate more fear, blah, blah, blah. Hitting H3 with it doesn't stop any blight issues, so it's not as helpful. It does destroy 4 towns? Or 3 towns, I guess. But it doesn't stop that blight issue. But in any case, I guess I click this. Let's forget Call to Isolation, I guess. It's in the discard pile. I like forgetting cards in the discard pile. I'll just click air because I don't know. I've kind of gone up the energy track, even though I wasn't thinking I was going to. I don't know where I want to be for this. Doesn't matter. Let's go back in E4. I'm sure that was a good place to be. We need all the fire cards, at least one of which has plant. And then... oh, wait, I don't have card plays? Wait. I don't have elements for this. Why did I thought I had 3 card plays? I don't have 3 card plays. Okay, well, I don't have the threshold on that then. Fine then. Not that it matters at all. Just click fast cards and maybe we get enough fear for this Ravage to be somehow solved. This one, I assume I'm still correct in some number of assumptions there. We need the energy. We need 2 air. Okay. I found 0 air. Good job. Good job. Defend 4. Coastal blight removal? Does that help us? Is that enough? Nobody knows. Still need to strife the city at H2, so this has to be a back and forth. Oh, they're also building a city in H1. Don't even get this threshold? Oh, man. My day is getting worse and worse. Well, we have 3 fear cards. So I have that going for me, which is nice. Numinous Crisis. Spiritual energy of the island weakens as life's connections grow ever more tattered. You may draw strength from it while you can, or pour your strength into the island. Remove a blight per player from the blight card, loses the game, so I'm forced to pour your strength. Spend 3 energy, forget 2 power cards, or return a presence to the presence tracks. Add a blight per player to the blight card from the box. Plagues bring fear and death. 1 fear per board with disease. On each board, 2 damage to Dahan and land with disease. Careful defense. When invaders ravage, with land as Dahan, defend 2. But yeah, I'm forced to do this. Like, factually forced. I guess getting back to 3 energy is not the worst thing in the world. I think this is just pay 3 energy considering I've gone up energy track. We're now at 4 blight. Is that enough? No. Is that enough? I don't know. Distracted by local troubles. Invaders do -1 damage per damage they have taken. On each board, in a land matching a Ravage card, 1 damage each to up to 2 invaders. Is that enough? No idea. This guy's dead. Don't worry about that guy. There's no damaged pieces already anywhere. I mean, on this board it has to be E2, right? Because E1's dead, E3's dead, so I click E2. One damage each to up to 2 invaders. There's no way this solves that ravage at all. Is there any slow damage happening? Nope. Let's just like ping the towns. I would ping the cities, but if I strife the city on another fear card, it would kind of be better for it to prevent 3 damage instead of 2. And then I guess same thing here. Each player may choose a land with Dahan or adjacent to at least 3 Dahan. Invaders do not ravage there this turn. That's actually really helpful. This land doesn't ravage. And then probably H1. Okay, game exists. Panicked by wild beasts. Each player adds strife in a land with or adjacent to beasts. Invaders skip their normal explore and build in lands with beasts. That does nothing for the explore and build. Maybe I might stop and explore. Strife in land with or adjacent to beasts. The only ravage left is E2. We don't have visibility there, so can't stop that. Otherwise, we can damage pieces with strife more easily. Jungle is coming up next, so I guess I strife this town. I think I lost, by the way. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I lost in the same way I lost the other England game because they're gonna double build H6. I mean, it's not exactly the same as it's not a triple double build, but their H6 is turning into London. It's gonna have 5 buildings, and this is guaranteed escalation, so it's gonna build H6 again, and it's gonna be 7 buildings. So all of my careful considerations try to make H2 be London, and I accidentally got rid of too many things in there. Remember when I was like, oh, I should push this town out so that I don't accidentally lose to H2? Well, I accidentally lost to H6 as the result. Okay. Well. Oh well. Probably should have actually damaged this city with the 1 damage from that 1 fear card. Oh, they built a city here. I didn't actually really account for that. There, because this pushes, so I don't really care. Oh, cool. London, London, London. Yep. England plus varied terrains is basically roulette. Really, I should not have pushed the town into the wetland, but for some reason I thought, oh yeah, as long as I don't lose in coastal lands or something. Well, at least I'm happy that we didn't lose to Blight, considering we were losing to Blight for the past 30 minutes. But that was definitely, like, high rolls, but big mistake was putting this town into the wetland. I don't know. I don't know what I could have... Like, putting it into the jungles would have been bad as well, because of city builds. Putting into the mountain might have been better. I survived a lot longer than you expected after that Blake card flipped. I take that as a compliment. It's entirely based on my skill and not at all based on luck. That's clearly the takeaway. It has nothing to do with luck. I knew exactly what I was doing this entire time. I was never worried. Anyway. All right, 24 points. 0 for defeat, 16 for difficulty 8, 6 for the 6 invader cards not in the deck, 7 for the 15 surviving Dahan, and -5 for the 11 Blight on the island. And that's that. We will continue next week with attempt 4. At some point, I probably should not let England be the random adversary. Maybe after attempt 4. But yeah, that is it for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your stay. This was Logic Dolphin here for Dolphin's Dive. We're here every Monday at 6 p.m., except for the Mondays at 6 p.m. where I'm not here. Last week, I was dealing with a cold/flu. I'm not sure what it was. I had a weird fever thing, but it went away fairly quickly. Just basically ruined my Monday. But I am here and I'm back. Check out Handle Lava Live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. for demos of content before it is publicly available, including Spirit Island Nature Incarnate development, but also One Deck Dungeon Relics of the Forge development. Get more information on those streams. Get Handle Lava products. They are all very good. Spirit Island is a very good game. One Deck Dungeon is a good game. One Deck Galaxy is a good game. Sentinels of the Multiverse is a good game, and I have not played it in years. Aeon's End is a game. I never got good at that game. It's a good game. I just am not good at it. And Sentinels of Earth Prime is also a good game, although I've not really played much of it either. But it's basically Sentinels of the Multiverse in a different comic book era, style, publisher, whatever. But anyway, yeah, check out all of that on Handle Lava page. There's certainly some sale going on, probably. I don't know. All right. Have a good night.